these grounds. I came from the dust and made such a sound that other guys and goddesses had to make a trip down to earth to see what they had in me. Pages upon pages, I studied the laws of life, how love could be supported. One night I was born and raised an unwanted child, and in the next I was aborted. So grace comes swiftly yet undefined. Oh, you can name her, but you cannot assign all the extraordinary places she calls home. Grace comes on her. Oh, grace comes on her. Oh, grace comes on her. Oh, with not out of beauty, yeah. So listen up closely, 'cause I've got a message for you. I've been given the gift of music because music is what people listen to. We all have a common purpose, regardless the hand you've been dealt. You did not come here to fix a broken world. You came here to learn to love yourself. Oh, grace comes swiftly yet undefined. Oh, you can name her, but you cannot assign all the extraordinary places she calls home. Grace comes on her. Oh, grace comes on her. There is beauty in the breaking. There's peace beyond the infirmity. Where there is magic in the making. Strip yourself away from the ways of the world. It is all an illusion, my child. They told you you had to suffer to be sure, when you only have to smile. You only have to smile to be sure. You only have to smile to know, yeah. You only have to smile. You only have to, you only have to, yeah. Extraordinary places she calls home. Grace comes on her. Oh, grace comes on her. Oh, grace comes on her. Oh.
Another example of that education there. I guess I am a musician. Oh my goodness, okay. So here we are, we're concluding today this, how many of you have learned something of value through this series? Thank you. My goodness. I certainly have. It's been really fun. I think we've heard of the chakras in one way or another, but to really kind of dive in to figure out how they work and what that means for us and how to work with them has been fun. So, again, I am just borrowing and tapping into in some ways, the surface amount of information that exists around this ancient wisdom coming from the Indian Hindu tradition that's 2,000 to 3,000 years old, inextricably linked with the science and philosophy of yoga that connects our body, mind, and spirit balanced way. That the word chakra is a Sanskrit word that translates as wheel. So we're learning that these wheels of energy are centers in the body. We have a slide for that. Oh, I've got a really cool slide too. We've got this one, which points out all the 7 as they kind of occur in our physical body, the crown chakra. Today is above our head, and it involves, of course, our brain, and we'll get into exactly how that manifests. But this idea that are these organizational centers for the reception, assimilation, and transmission of energy, right? That everything is energy. And so we have these centers that receive energy and assimilate it into our systems, and then how we can transmit energy, right? So this next slide, if it works, is really cool. Oh, look at this. Right? So looking at how it comes in from above and up from the ground, and it meets in our heart, right? So we are this human cross, with our heart chakra being the place, the meeting ground of the illuminated chakras, and moving up from the physical chakras. So I thought that was really cool for the emanation of energy and light, to understand how you can envision that. All right, well, I was really impressed. So it is the ascending current that brings us liberation, and the descending current that brings us manifestation. So it's the balance of them both, right? Life is consciousness. And by consciousness we mean awareness, right? The faculty of knowing, of intelligence that brings understanding and awareness. And each of the 7 chakras are said to correlate with different abilities, expressions, and types of health. So today, as we look at the 7th chakra, we'll have that slide come up. And I want to thank Summer, by the way, for making these really cool slides for us. Yeah. So, governing the top of our head, this chakra governs the central nervous system, the cerebral cortex, and the pituitary gland, which is the master gland of the endocrine system that produces and secretes the chemical messengers, hormones. They're not just important as you're going into puberty, and certainly as I've been experiencing in this latter half, as you all know, when I mess with the thermostat. Hormones are the receivers of information running through our systems that are so crucial. Physiologically, the crown chakra relates to the brain, especially the higher brain or cerebral cortex. The author says this: our amazing human brain contains some 13 billion interconnected nerve cells. 13 billion interconnected nerve cells, capable of making more connections among themselves than the number of stars in the entire universe. I did not fact check this, but I think it's impressive. We're going to go with it today. Our brains, as instruments of awareness, are virtually limitless. Yet there are 100 million sensory receptors within the body and 10 trillion synapses in the nervous system, making the mind 100,000 times more sensitive to its internal environment than its external environment. What? There's so much going on inside of us. So it is truly from a place within that we receive and assimilate the most of our knowledge. That's the good and the bad news. Right? Because we have filters through which only some information even accounts as important to us. The personal experience of this chakra is I know, and the demon or the challenger of it is attachment. So I want to read again what the author says about this. As we have worked our way through the 7 chakra levels of awareness related to each chakra, we have progressively transcended limitation, short-sightedness, immediacy, pain, and suffering. This is the direction most emphasized as we move up. In Eastern thought, with the practice and philosophies of yoga comprising the essential gateway to universal consciousness, pain and suffering, it is believed, occur through false identification with elements of the finite world and obscure the ultimate reality of the infinite. It is attachment to limitation that forms obstacles to our spiritual growth. Hence, attachment is the primary challenger of this chakra. The most characteristic quality of transcendent consciousness is emptiness. So we fill ourselves with all this information, and then if we become inflexible with it, we get attached to the way we understand ourselves, our world, it actually dampens our ability to expand, yes, but by the same mechanism that expands us. So it's this fine balance of knowing and knowing that you never fully know, right? So creating enough space to let what we know expand and let ourselves expand beyond those limitations. I'm already tired. The Sanskrit word that is translated as thousand-fold lotus is Sahasrara. That's the Sanskrit name for this chakra, the thousand-fold lotus. I haven't spent much time on the fact that each chakra has a certain number of petaled lotuses. And they are often called lotuses, symbolizing the unfolding of flower petals, which metaphorically describes the opening of those chakra centers. Growing from mud, as we know lotuses do, they symbolize a path of development from a primitive being to a fully blossoming consciousness, mirroring the base chakra rooted in earth, which evolves into the lotus. This 1,000-petaled lotus at the crown of the head is the final destination. Like lotuses, chakras have petals which vary in number. And like flowers, chakras can be opened or closed, dying or budding, depending on the state of consciousness within them. So to think about every one of these centers having a level of consciousness within them. And that as we move up, it becomes more open, right? With the first level being very physical, all the way up through this understanding. I know it's really hard to talk about consciousness, right? How do you even talk about our ability to know and think? It's an experience. We really have an experience of it. The author sort of correlates it with a play, right? That the seventh chakra relates to what we experience as the mind, especially the awareness that makes use of the mind. The mind is the stage of consciousness. The stage for the play of consciousness. And it can bring us a comedy or a tragedy, excitement or boredom. We are the privileged audience that gets to watch the play. Although sometimes we identify so completely with the characters on the stage, meaning our thoughts, that we forget that it's only a play, that we are not our thoughts. Oh! Remember the first time someone told me that? It's like, well, they're really good. Have you known my thoughts? Yeah, well, and you're more than that. And those should always be expanding. I love this idea that everything we see, if you want to understand consciousness, if you want to know consciousness, we can begin to look at what exists in the physical realm, right? Everything that we can see began as an idea. That's really profound if you think about it. That means so much. I mean that, first of all, everything is not complete. We are still in the process of co-creating. And to think of ourselves, of humanity, as an idea in divine mind that is expressing is also profound. And to recognize that we can receive from this infinite mind of possibilities. If we believe we can, if we open up to that awareness, right? I love how this chakra work also has done a fabulous job of balancing masculine and feminine energies. And I love what the author says about, well, first of all, just recognizing that we're talking really about patterns. In the Hindu tradition, order is the underlying universal reality. That indeed, if we look at nature and the celestial universe, the apparent intelligence of it is exquisite order. The order at work in our universe, in our physical bodies, in our mind, in our lives. In Unity, we often talk about divine order as being the expression mind, idea, expression. That is mind, idea, expression. So we are opening our mind, we are recognizing ideas that then, thankfully, we don't put all of our ideas into expression. Some of them we don't want to express. But those that we think about most frequently become most frequently expressed into reality. So continuing on with that idea of pattern, pattern relates to the word for father, pater. The father gives the seed, the DNA, the information or pattern which stimulates the creation of form. Conception begins when a pattern is adequately received. It is then that the maternal aspect gives substance to the pattern, as well as half of the DNA. Mother comes from mater, as does the English word matter. To make something matter, it must materialize, manifest, and be mothered. In this way, Shiva provides the form or pattern, while Shakti, as the mother of the universe, provides the raw energy and materializes the form. I don't know why I loved that idea. It's pretty cool. Yeah, some people. All right, great. So ultimately, the conclusion here is that consciousness is the ordering principle inherent in all things. From crisscrossing waveforms in the brain to the structure of molecules to buildings and cities, existence itself is but a vortex of conscious organization. What is higher consciousness? Higher consciousness is the awareness of a higher or deeper order, one that is more inclusive. Higher consciousness is sometimes called cosmic consciousness and refers to awareness of a cosmic or celestial order, where the lower chakras are full of millions of bits of information about the physical world and its cycles of cause and effect. Cosmic consciousness reaches far into the galaxies and beyond, opening to the awareness of unifying truths. And I think that we all have an awareness of this within us. That's what brought you here on one level or another to this center, right? To tune into, to tap into cosmic truths, truths that are bigger than our own. And that has really kind of been the impetus, I think, originally for the main religions. But then instead of keeping them like this, they brought them back down and made them this is the only right one, and these ones are wrong. So it shows us the capacity of our human mind to take an enormous, not only the capacity, but the tendency to take something that is unifying and bring it into individualization, right? And to begin to hierarchy and order, right? So as much as we need that to function, we need some order, recognizing that our tendency to make good or bad, right or wrong, black and white, really negates the fullness of what we're talking about here with a cosmic consciousness. Just to recognize that we do that. That isn't a divine experience. Like truth is unifying. We say one is better than the other. Some say that the crown is the seat of the soul, an eternal and dimensionless witness that stays with us throughout lifetimes. That part of you that can witness you. You know that part? When you take a minute to recognize some part of you can observe that you're thinking, can observe those thoughts. That's the part, that's that witness that you work with in meditation. Meditation, of course, is the gateway and the practice that is used to explore and open this crown chakra and to begin to notice the prevailing thoughts that we're keeping and to update those, just like the author says something about, just like you don't go in and eat dinner on yesterday's dirty dishes. If you do, don't say so. Occasionally, you need to clean out your mind, to recognize the outdated, limiting thoughts that are still forming the crux of your beliefs. And meditation is the way in which we can drop into that awareness, right? Not from a place of right or wrong, of judging it, but noticing it. And the noticing, then we begin to see, I do have some power here. It's like, she also likens it to a grocery store or a store. Like, who is managing this store? Who's responsible for the inventory? And what's on back order and what needs to be clearanced out and done away with. So we're going to take some time in meditation now to kind of connect with this idea. So just invite you to take a breath. Did I get through all of that? I did. Obviously the color is purple. We'll ring our singing bowl, which invites us to drop from our head to our heart. Then I'm going to take you right back up to your head today. And just take a breath. Again, feeling your feet on the ground and the chair behind your back. Letting our breath begin to quiet our thoughts a bit just by focusing on our breath. Brings us to this moment, focusing here and now, and dropping in, having an experience of this capacity of our mind to think, and the propensity to repeat certain patterns of thought, which again is neither right or wrong, but we can gain power by noticing the frequency of those thoughts, both in terms of how often we think them and what frequency are they holding. We know that fear-based thoughts are a lower frequency. So we're just tune in and have this experience for you to begin to notice your thoughts. So we'll just get still for a moment. And then gradually we'll let ourselves pay attention to the thoughts that will begin to pass through your mind. And then pick one. Pick a thought and explore this question. Where did that thought come from? And we'll typically find another thought that came before it that led to this conclusionary thought. So now, where did that thought come from? Let's try to stay focused on this path we're taking, to continue to follow the stream of thoughts. So now that you've gotten that thought, now go a step behind that. What thought led to that thought? Again, not judging, not resisting, just noticing. It may be something that occurred years ago or something that is pressing on you right now. But again, follow that thought to its next source. And again. Eventually, we find a kind of infinite source that has no objective origin. There's just thought behind thought. So now pick another thought. Can you trace the thought that led to that thought? I know, it's aggravating. So many thoughts. Which one of them is true? And how do you know? So we're connecting with the flow of thoughts and uncovering the thought behind the thought behind the thought to try to get, can you get to some origin of that stream of thought? And do you find that to be true? could it be tested again? Could it be expanded? And can you tap into that awareness that is seeing all of that? Tends to be fleeting once we focus on it, but notice it. And that is the witness that we connect with in meditation. I'm having these thoughts and perhaps these feelings, but I am not them. And that gives us just enough space to begin to choose our thoughts. And perhaps through that following exercise that you can do anytime, begin to see more of the origin of our stream of thoughts. And perhaps that is where we perform that upgrade, that cleaning of our hard drive, opening a path for a new paradigm. And know this as well, that the thoughts that are frequently held by a society impact our thoughts. They make them those mass consciousness thoughts have more energy to them because we're all holding them. And in many ways, that is the awareness that we're coming to. Do we want to let these thoughts permeate our consciousness? Thoughts of separation, of division. Can we let them go and hold on to a unified consciousness? One with our Creator, with the source of all intelligence, one with all of creation. We clear the flow of those unifying thoughts to flow more freely. This is the unifying truth that sets us free. So I invite you to take a breath. And let us all just have a moment of gratitude for this capacity of our mind to conceive of thoughts, to hold them so powerfully that we can make them manifest in this realm. That is the power that we have. And the call is, what is the quality of the thought that we are most likely to manifest? That's the invitation this day, to consider everything we see expressing in our life, tracing it back to the power of our thoughts about it, about ourselves, about our creation. So we take a breath, bring our awareness back to this time and space. With a renewed invitation to notice where we put our focus.
I look into the windows of my mind, reflections of the fears I know I left behind. I step out of the ordinary, I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way, can't stop me now. You can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people if you make that way for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? There's still so many answers I don't know.
There are so many answers.
To realize that your question is how we grow.
To question is to grow.
So I step out of the ordinary, I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way, can't stop me now. You can do the same, yes. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people if you make that break for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Yeah, we need a change. Yeah, do it today. Yeah, I can feel my spirit rising.
Change, yeah.
We need a change. Yeah.